Hey everybody, hope all is well. This time I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover of me making the Kenyan coffee. Um, I just want to give you a thought process of how I go about brewing my coffee actually. And this is a Kenyan light roast. I haven't done the medium roast yet. I'll save that more so for tomorrow. I may let you know more about that. But yeah, so I did about 40 to 50 grams of coffee. I did a relatively coarse grind on the coffee. And the first thing I usually do is wet the filter. I'm using a Chemix filter on this one this time. A Chemix actually. Um, Wet the filter. Oh, oh crap, yeah. I had old coffee in there. I think my son wanted some coffee, but there we go. Put some water, hot water, I believe, in the filter. Grind up the coffee that's already ready to go. And again, I wanted to start with the light roast just because I had it. I'm not looking for anything spectacular with the light roast. I used to do light roast quite a bit, but now I don't just because it lacks a lot of flavor. So, rinse out the filter, get it ready, prep ready to go for me to brew. And I usually brew either Chemix or Chemix filter or Hario B60. Those are my main drivers of coffee to where I can really taste what it tastes like. So, like I said, the grind is relatively coarse. Pouring water in my Hario kettle with the gooseneck, and this kettle actually goes a lot slower than anticipated. I actually like it. I actually like a slower brew of coffee. Some people like fast brews, but I like slower brews of coffee. So we're gonna go ahead and wet the coffee. I think I did about 150 to 200 grams of coffee. I know this because the scale's on the side. I just wanted to show you how cool this looks. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, so this coffee took a very long time for me to actually brew. It took about 5 to 7 minutes, and I like a slow brew, but that was way too slow. Um, so yeah, so of course I'm not gonna show you the whole thing because that will just take way too long, and that's the second pour right there. But like I said, this took about 7, 8 minutes, which is actually kind of long. This coffee for my roast degree, came out to about 95, which is bizarre. I roasted this pretty light. It was about a 7 minute, 7.5 minute first crack, and then I let it go ahead and uh do a second, not a second crack, but it was about 30 seconds or so of actually getting the coffee through after it roasted. So yeah, so I did that and I let it sit. This is about a day or two off grind, off brew, and yeah, so not off brew, off roast. So yeah, so like I said, it took a long time for it to actually come through. I think it's just because of the way the coffee was roasted extremely light, and it's a Kenyan. African coffees tend to do that, especially if you roast them really relatively light. And my main idea or concept, what I wanted to do is just to see what the coffee tastes like as a light roast. Uh, so that's what this is. So that's what this is. So emptying out the filter, getting that out the way. I usually make coffee in the morning for my wife and myself. Sometimes my son likes coffee too, but this time it was just for me and for her, and she usually does creamer. So I went ahead and prepared hers with creamer. I don't think she noticed any off taste with the coffee, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of like what we did to get everything ready to go. And I usually like to take my time, let the coffee sit for a little bit, before I start to really drink it. But I believe what ended up happening was that I essentially brewed it and then started to drink the coffee. So I didn't know what I was gonna really expect from this coffee, especially being it's so light. I was thinking that was gonna disappoint me, you know, just because again I'm not too big of a fan of light roast. The thing about light roast is that they tend to mostly taste the same, very vegetable sometimes, under extracted. So that's what happened there. So usually in the morning, what I usually do is I write, I contemplate, I think, and I write. I don't know what I was writing about this time, but maybe about this particular episode or video that I was gonna do. So that's usually the first sip. Not too happy with it, as you can see, and that was the thing. But I like to let it cool down as I'm writing and thinking and contemplating and doing all that good stuff. But yeah, I just sip it, think about it, see what I'm tasting, seeing if it actually changes as I drink it. That face right there is not a not so much of a happy face, I guess, but truthfully, I was really surprised how actually well it came out. It was a one-dimensional type of cup. Meyer lemon in its taste, and it just died. You get it initially at first, and then there's a little bit of sweetness in it, and then it just dies. But I was really surprised how okay it actually was. And I think it was mostly because it was coarse, grind. It was probably more so like a 10-to-1 ratio. So 40 grams in, about 400 grams out. And yeah, I'm just thinking. And as you see, I'm sipping, drinking, kind of get an idea of what I'm tasting. And that's what I like doing with coffee. I like to just chill and relax and see if it's anything of worth me continuing to do. I think that's me trying to talk right now, trying to tell you what I'm telling you right now. But yeah, so the coffee was okay. And one thing I've noticed with these type of coffees especially is that it is a lot better as you go finer into the grind actually. I've done that today, did it the day before. I even went even heavier on the grind. And since it being such a light roast, the flavors came out even more so. I just wasn't tasting Meyer lemon. It had more of a Meyer lemon taste, but then it also had like a chocolatey type of taste to it. So it was interesting. So I'm really looking forward to the medium roast as I go about discovering more about this coffee. Am I 100% happy, thrilled with the coffee? No. But it is getting better. And a lighter roast may be where it needs to be actually. Like I said, I'm going to try it a couple different ways. The medium roast through 3 different ways. And then I'm going to try it as an espresso too. And we're going to play around with that. So we're going to have fun with this. I hope so that you got something out of this, you know. And again, I'm just sipping there, thinking about the coffee, thinking about you really, how you would really enjoy this coffee. Would you pay X amount of dollars for this coffee? You know, so there we go. Talk to you later. Bye.